Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about themes in literature. Let's have some theme-filled cupcakes today. Are you excited? The first thing I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and a pencil so that you can take notes on this presentation. And remember, you can pause this video at any time to take any notes. What is the theme? A theme is a central idea or message of a story. Notice how that doesn't say that the theme is the main idea. It's not. It is the lesson. It is the thing that you are trying to take away from the story. It is often somewhat hidden. Usually, the reader needs to infer the theme. After reading an entire story or book, the reader should consider the overall message the author was trying to convey through the book. So the theme is the moral or the lesson of the story. The author doesn't come out and tell you what the theme is. You have to read it to find out. A guiding question. What is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? You can use this question while you're reading passages as you're trying to determine the theme. An example I like to always give my students is the story of the tortoise and the hare, or the turtle and the rabbit. In this story, the rabbit thought that he had all day to finish the race because the turtle was so slow, and he ended up taking a nap. But in the end, the turtle beat him. The theme of this is don't judge a book by its cover, or don't underestimate someone. Have you ever sunk your teeth into a cream-filled cupcake? Those are my favorite. What do you find hidden inside the cupcake? Eventually, you bite into the yummy filling. You can't see it on the outside, but it was there the entire time. The theme of a book is like the cream filling of a cupcake. You can't always see it, but it's there. And it's the best part. Think of the entire cupcake as your book. The theme is the hidden message inside the book. You can determine the theme once you start reading the book. Now, I talked to you about the tortoise and the hare, but do you remember the tale of Little Red Riding Hood? What is the theme of this tale? I'll give you a second to think about it. What do you think the theme of this tale might be? Remember, the theme is the lesson. It's the message that the author is trying to give you. If you haven't thought of something yet, please pause this video to give your brain some time to think. Moving on, the theme of Little Red Riding Hood is appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Now, I didn't just pull that theme out of midair. I have to have evidence from the story to back that up. My evidence is as followed. The wolf seemed kind, so Little Red Riding Hood trusted him. She told the wolf where her grandmother lived. Then the devious wolf tricked Little Red Riding Hood by sneaking into her grandmother's house and disguising himself as her grandmother. Another theme of this might be that you can't judge a book by its cover. That's the awesome thing about the theme of a story. It's not always worded the same, and the theme can be a little bit different from person to person. Now, I want you to read this short story and determine its theme. Pause the video and read this short story, and then we will talk about it. Now that you've read the passage, remember to ask yourself, what is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? In this case, the theme of the short story is, when given a time-consuming task, finish it as soon as possible. You might also word this as, make sure you get your responsibilities finished, or don't put things off until the last minute. There are plenty of ways to word this. Like I said, keep in mind that a book's theme can be worded in different ways. Now we have evidence, because you can have any opinion you want on the theme, but you have to be able to back it up with evidence from the text. Our evidence is as followed. Dan had many opportunities to do his project, but he kept putting it off until a later date. Then something unexpected occurred. He got sick, and he had to scramble to complete the project at the last minute. Now, let's do the same thing. Read this short story, pause the video, and then we will talk about it in the next slide. Now that you've read the passage, remember to ask yourself that question we talked about earlier. What is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? The theme of this short story is, be patient. A theme doesn't have to be long. It can be something as simple as be patient. My evidence from the story is as followed. Because April was not willing to wait to eat dessert, she missed out on a better opportunity that presented itself a short time later. So, can a book have more than one theme? Absolutely, especially when you're talking about chapter books. Books often have more than one theme. Even short passages can have more than one theme. Let's talk about a short passage that has lots of themes. Read this short story and determine the theme. Pause this video and then we will talk about it. Now that you've read the passage, remember to ask yourself, what is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? The theme of this short story is, be thankful for what you have. But wait, there's more. The safety of those you love is the most important thing in life. Help others in their time of need. And you might have other themes that you came up with. That's the great thing about a theme, is sometimes people see things differently. The theme is the moral of the story or the thing that you are able to take away. This brings us to another short story. Pause this video, read it, and then we'll talk about it. This slide has two parts, so we'll move to the next one now. Now that you have read this passage, remember to ask yourself, what is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? The theme of this short story is, everyone faces challenges in life. Often we don't fully understand the difficult situations that others must face. Another thing is that the grass is not always greener on the other side. You might have another theme. The next time you're asked about the theme of the story, what will you think of? A theme-filled cupcake sure sounds good. Have a great day, guys.